Hi, I'm Scully Sinful, your big bro. I'm an Omega ranked 2-time top 100 player, and I'm here to talk about which characters are the best in the game. Well, best might not be entirely correct. Instead of thinking about this tier list as the best characters in the game, think of it more as a list of the most consistent characters to climb the ranked ladder with. I honestly think there aren't any bad characters in this game. Hell, Zidane is even alright after all of his buffs, but it is significantly easier to climb the ranked ladder with some characters over others. I'm going to explain each and every pick, so please watch the video before commenting, as I'm sure some of you will just skip to the end, see your favorite character is not at the top, and drop a comment complaining. All of this is coming from the perspective of solo queue. So I know that some characters perform much better in a pre-made team, but that isn't this tier list. Let's begin with the support class. At the very bottom, we have the one who started it all, the Warrior of Light. Warrior of Light offers excellent crowd control and respectable boss damage using his ultra rare Supreme Soul. However, in order to get maximum effectiveness, you need to play with a team that will coordinate burst. He is also outclassed by the other supports in the healing department. While his hold is great and offers a decent damage reduction boost, it's simply outclassed by the other characters in this category. He's still great and is easily the best dueling support, but if we were being honest, then what we truly want from a support is healing and bravery, both of which he just does not provide. His crowd control is nothing to scoff at, and if he runs Auron or Ace, he can easily wipe rivals off the map. But his boss damage is severely lacking, and unless he runs a bravery share ability, he just cannot share the bravery he gets with his team. Rikku is up next. Rikku offers healing, shielding, and bravery. The reason she's not higher on this list is that her bravery share is conditional. Rikku only wants to share bravery at 9,999, making it dangerous for her to exist, as any decent rivals will target her and deny the ability to share her bravery. Her healing ultra rare is probably my favorite in the game, as it's a group renew with a meaty shield on top. Her bravery share is also reliant on team coordination, which cannot be counted on in solo queue. Oftentimes you will quartet and max vitality only for one teammate to decide to dive enemy spawn, and for the other to use a skill to kill the rival Cryo while in burst. In a coordinated team, I believe that Rikku is the best support in the game and one of the best units in the game, but in the tar pits of solo queue, she's outclassed by the next character. Cryo is a little bravery monster. This character is all about consistency. If Rikku is the burst queen, then Cryo is the chancellor of tempo. What Cryo offers is extra bravery, damage, and healing. Her passive gives the entire team extra bravery when she clears crystals, and her hold lets her give out her personal bravery to allies. Her healing ultra rare is a regen that lasts for 15 seconds. While this ultra rare can be wasted on some allies who aren't team fighting, unlike Rikku's, which always provides some value to the whole team, it's also just crazy powerful, making it nearly impossible to kill rivals who are under its effects in a one-on-one duel or even a 2v1. Out of all the supports, Cryo offers the most consistent healing and bravery gains amongst them all, which is why you see her at the highest ranks even when only sporting about 10k or 11k power. That's it for the supports. Let's talk about the biggest class, melees. At the bottom we have Iroha. Hold up, I know some of you will have objections to this pick, so let me explain. Out of all the melees in this game, Iroha has the most unsafe burst rotation. If you want to play her at maximum efficiency, you are forced to use multiple unsafe and quite frankly slow abilities between her invincible ultra rares. And even her ultra rares have really bad iframes. Her boss damage is ludicrously powerful when she gets her full burst off, but that also requires her to be alive. And unfortunately, she's more likely to get off mid-burst than to ever finish the complete combo. Her dueling is quite good, as she has some devastating combos like Chone into Ace Fire, which keeps her at a very safe distance and still kills, but it's just not enough to offset her playstyle. Not to mention, she has some of the lowest health scaling in the game, meaning she dies to most big attacks. Next up, we have Gaia. It pains me to put her this low, but it's where I honestly think she belongs. The other melee characters are just that good. Gaia offers something that not many other characters in this game can do, and that's debuffs. Gaia has two skills that cause the slow effect, and this debuff is devastating as it extends the cast time of all skills and actions. If there's an ally near her when Gaia inflicts a slow, then it's totally possible to just explode an enemy rival before they can activate any skill. Gaia is also incredibly tanky and hurts like a truck. It was honestly a toss-up on where to put her and the next character. They were pretty much interchangeable. The only reason she lost out was that her debuffs can be negated by things like barrier or wall or another ultra rare. Her Diamond Destroyer ultra rare in particular can be walled on reaction, denying its damage, slow, and knockup effect. Her Fated Moment, which is her delayed time bomb, can also be denied by simply timing an ultra rare or burst activation to deny its damage. When she works, she can deal excellent damage to the boss and to enemy rivals, but it's also kind of conditional. This ranking also feels like a stab to the gut, but I'm putting Clive in this next spot. Despite being my favorite Final Fantasy character of all time, his power in Duellum is quite, like I said before, conditional. Clive is all about bursting and dueling. His autos become enhanced while in burst mode, making him a certified blender. He can just dish out so much damage while in burst, and he can just laser down enemy rivals. But that also means that he becomes a giant walking beacon for murder. His damage is quite high, and he can easily outtrade enemies even outside of burst, sporting one of the best, if not the best, rapid attack chains in the game. That all being said, his cooldowns for his abilities are long. His Rising Flames ultra rare can easily wipe out one or two enemy rivals, but it also sports a 70-second cooldown. His other ultra rare fully restores his HP and does severe damage, but it has a 110-second cooldown, almost 2 entire minutes without his ultra rare. If Clive gets stunned or killed mid-burst, then he loses out on a huge portion of his damage and survivability. Out of all the characters, Clive demands a barrier skill to help him with his rapid attack dueling outside of burst, but that can easily be shut down with a single Earthbreaker. In matches without Earthbreakers, Clive feels like an unstoppable force, but as soon as someone brings it, he can get shut down harder than any other melee on this list. Also, my bro's huge titties are making him run so slow. Dude basically crawls around the map with his abysmal move speed. Next up, we have Cloud. Cloud takes this spot since he has excellent boss damage, great dueling potential, and an excellent neutral game. His cross slash stuns an enemy for an entire 5 seconds, which is also just doing great damage on hit. This skill alone lets you take out rivals with ease. Luckily, this skill can be countered by things like wall and just running away. But it's also on a low enough cooldown at just 42 seconds that you will see it used all the time throughout the match. His boss damage is where he truly excels, as his Omni Slash does just so much damage. And, well, so does all of his other skills because his passive simply just buffs the damage he does to bosses. If you are in a team with a Cryo or Rikku, you can easily just devastate the boss with your low cooldowns. Omni Slash is only on a 90-second cooldown, making it one of the fastest charging severe damage cooldowns in the entire game. Notice how I said one of the fastest severe damage abilities in the game, because up next we have Kain, who boasts a 70-second severe damage UR that lets him engage with the boss from anywhere on the map. Kain also boasts something that is only shared with one other character in the game. His hold ability lets him climb elevation. I cannot state how critical this ability can be in the right player's hands. This allows you to gank starter crystals, run away from dangerous situations, and even reposition the boss. Like I said before, he can engage with the boss from anywhere on the map, and once he arrives, he will deal crazy amounts of damage with ultra rares that have large AoEs, resulting in things like accidental kills or heavy rival damage. Kain is just slippery as well. His hold lets him reposition, but he also has 2 moves that let him dodge and weave in and out of combat. For all of those reasons, Kain has earned this second place spot. First place goes to Firion. Firion has it all: low cooldowns for dueling, boss damage that rivals Cloud, and most importantly, lifesteal. When we're talking about consistency for ranked climbing, we have to look at how characters perform when you can't control your teammates. Sometimes you will end up in squads that lack a healer or even healing in any sense. Because of this, most characters are forced to take a form of self-sustain, whether that's a heal or renew. For example, my ideal Clive build runs both wall and renew and has outperformed my more aggressive setups. Firion doesn't need that. Firion can easily run with a full damage set, as his abilities let him heal to full if they land on rivals or mobs. Clive has a full heal ultra rare. Firion has 3 full heals, all of which are on low cooldowns and deal tremendous damage. If you want additional survivability, slap a wall on him and he will just heal more than enemies can dish out, all without help from a single teammate. For his lack of reliance on teammates and his excellent boss damage and rival dueling, Furion takes the top spot in the melee category. Let's talk about our 3 Agiles next. At the bottom of the list is Zidane. I know what I said at the beginning of this list, but Zidane is still not that great, even in comparison to the other Agiles. He provides a unique playstyle which involves stealing bravery and denying enemy burst, but he's also pretty reliant on teammates making use of his thievery. He's also more or less forced to take a bravery share skill, as his boss damage is not competitive even with a full damage loadout in trance state. He is incredible in the right hands and the right team, but man, that's a lot of ifs, which is why he's at the bottom of the Agiles. Next up is one of my favorite characters in the game, Onion Knight. If this was a tier list where we were talking about the characters with the most potential and perfect teams, then Onion Knight would easily be at the top of the list. Onion Knight gets double experience when he kills a minion. Keyword is he. Good Onion Knights can get the entire team to level 9 in around a minute 30 or less. A few things need to happen for this to be pulled off. You need to be able to farm starter crystal and one more nearby crystal. Your teammates also need to not be careless and feed bravery to the enemy while you are essentially building up your power. If all of this is executed correctly, then Onion Knight and his team can wreck through boss health bars like tissue paper. This unfortunately is not the norm. You will have allies stealing your mini boss or mobs delaying level 9. Or you'll have allies who will decide to 1v3 the enemy team, giving them an early lead that even your incredible boss damage can't surpass. All of this boils down to the fact that Onion Knight is just inconsistent, and a win is decided by your allies as much as your rivals. If your team works with you, he's the best character in the entire game. If they actively are working against you, then Onion Knight is just not okay. Speaking of consistency, Lightning is all about consistent play. She's a jack of all trades, master of none. She has alright boss damage, alright dueling, and pretty great crystal clears. But she can easily be beaten out by any other characters in those categories. However, she does all of those things really well, so she can slot into most team comps with ease. She best fits into a playstyle that revolves around clearing crystals fast and efficiently with a sprinkle of boss damage and dueling. That being said, when properly built, she's fast, tanky, and can dish out excellent damage, making her the best Agile for solo play. Finally, we have reached the range characters. At the bottom, we have Balthier. Balthier is one of the best duelists in the game and is easily able to wipe out teams with his ultra rare enhanced autos, but that's kind of it. If this game was a team deathmatch, Balthier would top the charts, but this game is about working with your team to kill the boss. In solo queue, you are just as likely to end up in a team with Cryo and Warrior of Light as anything else, and Balthier's boss damage simply cannot compete with the rest of the cast. It's not as bad as Zidane's, but it is also more of a supplement than a feature of his character design. Due to his lackluster boss damage and his niche use, Balthier is at the bottom of the ranged character ranking. Next up we have Terra. Terra is a great sniper, and she works really well in this meta that heavily relies on barriers. She provides excellent dueling, and her boss damage is nothing to sneeze at either. She's only placed as low because the next two characters that we will discuss are just that good. Terra is great all around, but she's pretty squishy and without meltdown struggles to fight off melee characters who are protected by said barriers, as her hold ability will have no effect on rivals who are rocking a wall. That being said, like I said, she's very good at sniping and getting off those good picks. Almost competitive with Balthier, if I'm being honest. Alright, it's time for Prompto. Prompto is an excellent character who provides sizable boss damage and AoE stun and extra damage on burst chains. This makes Prompto a really good backline character who can easily chip away at foes and then stun and bazooka them if they dare to close the gap. His AoE ultra rare is on a lower cooldown, letting him get away with using it for crystal clears and pressuring rivals. His hold ability is really nice for doing continuous boss damage while waiting for allies to reach 9,999 bravery or to just plink away at enemy rivals. His severe damage ultra rare also lowers boss defense, making it pair really well with allies' burst chains. Prompto just has a lot to offer as a ranged character, and he outclasses the earlier units by a mile. However, even he pales in comparison to Rinoa. Rinoa is by far the most consistent and powerful character in the game. I'm not even talking about ranged units right now, I'm talking about everyone. Rinoa easily outclasses the rest of the characters because of two abilities. The first is her hold ability, Warp. Warp lets her do what Kain does, and that is climb elevation. As I stressed in the Kain section, the ability to climb elevation is a game changer. It lets you play extremely safe or aggressively. It also allows you to traverse the map in unique ways that even Agile units cannot keep up with. Next is her ultra rare ability, Angel Wings. On the first use, it makes her briefly invulnerable and boosts her damage by 10%. Even at this stage, it's pretty alright, as it can let you iframe through crazy abilities like Gaia's Fated Circle. On its second use, you again get that brief invulnerability, but now at 21% extra damage. At stack 3, you get a full renew with long iframes, 58% extra damage, and your auto attack chain transforms to be even faster. Her auto attacks in this form are only rivaled by Clive's in bursts. And unlike Clive, there are no conditions on Rinoa's autos. Once she reaches stack 3, she's permanently buffed for the rest of the match. Once in this state, Rinoa can easily wipe out top tier Omega level camps with her rare ability or autos. She can destroy rivals without using a single ability, and can even use her warp skill aggressively to reposition behind aggressors or bursting rivals. When enemies are doing their burst, Rinoa has enough damage with just her autos to simply kill them in the gaps between iframes. Poor Iroha. In terms of damage, she just turns into a powerhouse. In terms of dueling, she's incredibly effective. When it comes to survivability, she also has a tool for that as well. By taking a single barrier skill, Rinoa can address her main issue, which is her low health and defense. Since Earthbreaker exists, well, she can just bait it out with other skills or even just by using Angel Wings effectively. Even if you somehow die, her passive gives you extra bravery on respawn. She's an absolute monster and one of the characters I use when I really want to win, even in mismatched Omega 1 and 2 lobbies. For all those reasons and more, she has earned her spot as the best ranged unit and one of the best characters in the entire game. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed my reasoning and got something out of it. I know not everyone will agree with my ranking, and it's one of the reasons why I delayed doing this for so long. But I want to encourage you to respectfully tell me your thoughts in the comments. Tonight's the first ever dev stream, and I will be staying up late to cover it, so feel free to subscribe here on YouTube or follow on Twitch to be the first to see what's new in Dissidia Duellum. I'm Skully Sinful, your big bro, and I'll be seeing you again real soon. Goodbye!